In this video, we are going to discuss about chromatography. Now, chromatography is a physical method for separation of compounds. With the help of chromatography, you separate compounds. T. Svet, this is a Russian botanist. T. Svet is a Russian botanist which is known as the father of chromatography. And it is T. Svet who is credited for the development of chromatography. So, a Russian botanist known as T. Svet developed the technique chromatography. Now, this T. Svet employed this technique to separate various plant pigments such as chlorophyll and xanthophyll. T. Svet used chromatography to separate various plants pigments such as chlorophyll and xanthophyll. What did T. Svet did is he passed a solution of these various pigments through a glass column which is packed with finely divided calcium carbonate. He took a glass column, he packed that glass column with finely divided calcium carbonate, and into that glass column he passed a solution containing those various pigments. And after doing this, he observed that there are separated species appeared as color bands on the column. On this glass column, there are color bands which represents the chlorophyll and xanthophyll molecules, the different species of the molecules. And it was T. Svet who named chromatography as chromatography. The word chroma means color and graphene means writing. Now, chromatography is based on very simple principle. The sample which is to be examined, which is known as solute or analyte, is allowed to interact with two immiscible phases known as mobile phase and stationary phase. In this chromatography technique, the sample is allowed to interact with two immiscible phases known as mobile phase and stationary phase. Now, these two immiscible phases which are used in the chromatography technique can be a solid and liquid, then a gas and liquid, or a liquid into another liquid. These are the three types of the two immiscible phases that can be used during the chromatography technique. Now, the stationary phase can be solid or a liquid supported on solid, and the stationary phase does not move. Now, the mobile phase moves the sample through the stationary phase. The stationary phase does not move, and there is this mobile phase which moves the sample, moves the analyte through the stationary phase. Now, this mobile phase can be a liquid or can be a gas. And if the mobile phase is liquid, then that is known as liquid chromatography. And if mobile phase is gas, then it is known as gas chromatography. Now, all chromatographic methods involves the passing of the mobile phase through the stationary phase. In all the chromatography method, the mobile phase is passed through the stationary phase. That is how chromatography works. Now, these two phases are chosen in such a way that the components of the sample can distribute themselves between the mobile phase and stationary phase at varying degrees. The distribution of the components should happen properly. Keeping in that mind, we choose the two phases. Classification of chromatographic methods. Now, chromatographic methods are being classified in three fundamental ways. They are classified depending upon the shape of the chromatographic bed. Then they are classified on the basis of the physical state of mobile phase and stationary phase. And then they are classified according to the mechanism of separation. So these are the three fundamental ways by which the classification of chromatographic methods is done. Now let's discuss about the classification of the chromatography based on the shape of the chromatographic bed. Now, depending upon the shape of the chromatographic bed, the chromatography is classified into two types, that is planar chromatography and column chromatography. Okay, planar chromatography and column chromatography are the two types of chromatography, and this classification is based on the shape of chromatographic bed. Now, in planar chromatography, the stationary phase is present on a plane. Now, this plane of the stationary phase in the planar chromatography can be a paper which is impregnated by the substance, and that serves as your stationary phase. Okay, a paper impregnated by a particular substance serves as a stationary phase in the paper chromatography, which is a type of planar chromatography. And the plane can also be a thin layer of a particular substance which is being spread on a glass, metal or a plastic plate. Okay, so what is planar chromatography? In planar chromatography, the stationary phase is on a plane. Okay, now that plane can be a paper impregnated by a particular substance. That is in the case of paper chromatography, or that plane can be a thin layer of substance spread on a glass plate or a metal plate or a plastic plate. Okay, and when this is happening, then that is known as thin layer chromatography. So paper chromatography and thin layer chromatography are both the planar chromatography. In case of paper chromatography, the plane is a paper which is impregnated by a substance, and in case of thin layer chromatography, the plane is a thin layer of substance which has been spread on a glass plate or a metal plate or a plastic plate. Now, this planar chromatography is also known as open bed chromatography. Okay, open bed chromatography is just the other name of the planar chromatography. Now, in case of thin layer chromatography, the stationary phase is a thin layer of silica gel or alumina spread on a glass plate or a metal plate or a plastic plate. Okay, that is how it is there in case of thin layer chromatography. There is a thin layer of silica gel or alumina on a glass plate, metal plate or a plastic plate. Now, most commonly silica gel is used as a stationary phase. Now, in silica gel, what happens is the silicon atoms are joined by oxygen atoms in a giant covalent structure. Okay, silica gel is a giant covalent structure in which the silicon atoms are joined via oxygen atom, and this silica gel is the most common stationary phase that we use. Now, the alumina, which are also known as aluminum oxide, is other commonly used stationary phase. Okay, so silica and after that alumina, these two are the most common stationary phases that we use. Now let's talk about column chromatography. Now in column chromatography, what is happening is that the stationary bed is in a tube. Okay, during column chromatography, the stationary bed is in a tube. Now the particles of the solid stationary phase are coated with liquid stationary phase in case of column chromatography, and this thing is filled in a tube. Okay, this thing fills the whole inside volume of a tube, and that we know called as packed column. Or these particles of the solid stationary phase coated with liquid stationary phase can be concentrated at the inside tube wall so that there is open and unrestricted path for the mobile phase at the middle part of the tube. Okay, so this column chromatography, in column chromatography we have packed column and open tubular column. Okay, in packed column, the stationary phase coated with a liquid stationary phase is filled inside the tube. Okay, inside the whole inside volume of the tube is filled with this stationary phase. And in case of open tubular column, the stationary phase is concentrated inside the tube wall, so that there is an open and unrestricted path for mobile phase at the middle part of the tube. Okay, so that is how the column chromatography is done, via packed column chromatography or open tubular column chromatography. Now this figure shows separation of solutes A and B present in a mixture by chromatography. Now a continuous flow of solvent carries a mixture of solutes A and B. Now there is this solvent which has two solutes, and this solvent will carry these two solutes down the column. Okay. So after some time you will observe that the solute B is moving at a faster rate as compared to solute A. And after a particular time, this solute B will elute first, and after that the solute A is going to also emerge. Okay, so this is how the chromatography takes place. You have a mixture, then you allow the mobile phase to pass through the stationary phase, and that is how the components of a mixture are going to be separated. Okay, it had A and B both, then B and A got separated, and you can collect the pure form of B solute and A solute with the help of this chromatography technique. Now, based on the physical state of mobile and stationary phases, the chromatography techniques are of two types, that is the gas chromatography and liquid chromatography. Okay, this classification depends upon the physical nature of the mobile phase. Okay, depending upon the physical nature of the mobile phase, the chromatography techniques are of two types, that is gas chromatography and liquid chromatography. Now, depending upon the physical nature of the stationary phase, this gas chromatography is further divided into gas solid chromatography and gas liquid chromatography, whereas the liquid chromatography is further divided as liquid solid chromatography and liquid liquid chromatography. Okay, so this classification is based on the physical nature of the mobile phase. After this, we consider the physical nature of the stationary phase, and on the basis of that, this gas chromatography is divided as gas solid chromatography and gas liquid chromatography, whereas this liquid chromatography is divided into liquid solid chromatography and liquid liquid chromatography. Now let's look at the classification of chromatography based on the mechanism of separation. Now in chromatography techniques, there are several types of mechanisms which are used to separate analytes, and on the basis of mechanism of separation, the chromatography is divided into partition chromatography, then adsorption chromatography, then size exclusion chromatography, and then affinity chromatography, and at last ion exchange chromatography. So these are the types of chromatography based on the mechanism of separation. So this video gave an introduction, the classification of chromatography. After this video, okay, in the next upcoming videos, there will be a description of each type of chromatography. Thank you.